What is up, Ham Radio? Kilo Echo 8, Papa Zulu November, the Ham Radio Adventure Guy. Thanks for stopping by. Your one stop for everything Adventure Radio. It is time for the Hump Day Happy Hour. And we're having all kinds of issues already. At least I am. But these other two guys are just going to pretend to have issues since I am. How's everybody doing?
Doing good.
That's good.
How you doing, Dan?
But we ain't even going to talk about Dan because we're going to thank the Patreon before we talk about Dan because, you know, Dan does all the work making sure that the Patreons are updated. So we're not gonna let him talk right now. We're gonna let you look at his cool, awesome Patreon board.
I believe you have my sticker.
Thank each and every one of these Patreons because they are absolutely awesome, and I appreciate all the support they do. Also, we're going to thank the Adventure Club. A little bit of changing going on the board. James Jenner moved into the top 10 and knocked out, he jumped up a couple spots, but he knocked off Joseph Collins off the board. And thanks to Kent for an offline donation as well. So thank you guys very much. This is the last month of the quarter. So I look for a lot of jockeying to be done toward the end of the month. Those top 5, they're staying pretty consistent where they are, but we'll see who can knock them off. Anyway, now Dan, how are you?
I'm tired.
Are you still tired, dude?
You know, I stay tired.
Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all. PP Man went to Georgia. Here we go. Someone bought 5 pieces of pizza.
Awesome.
I don't know who someone is, but someone. Thank you very much for 5 pieces of pizza.
No, I'm doing good, man. I'm recovered from the weekend. It took me till about midway through Monday to start feeling normal again. But
man, that's hear you. I'm telling you, I'm blaming PP Man. I'm blaming PP Man.
What?
Because Dan was the guy, man. He was Mr. Man before PP Man came to Georgia. You know, he's like, oh, you want to do some jiu-jitsu with me, James? We'll do jiu-jitsu. Oh, you want to do a rove? We'll do a rove. But
well, PP Man came to Georgia and he was looking for a soul to steal.
Listen, exactly. And he stole Dan's
He was in a
soul
bind because he was way behind.
Running QRP, he was in a bind.
The second he leaves Georgia, the next day I'm on 40 and Dan's like, why are you on 40? I can't hear you on 40.
I've told you that plenty of times before that.
And then he goes and buys a QRP radio and starts using QRP in the field.
I did. I actually did do that.
How'd that work out for you?
I actually like it, to be honest. But the reason why I got that specific model is, one, I didn't want to wait for a damn KX2. And it runs Linux. So you can actually do other cool stuff with it. So I can do a lot more than just play radio with that radio. I have plans.
Zygu?
Yeah, I have plans. Lima. Golf Alpha.
Thank you very much for the super chat there, Mr. Lima. Eddie, you might want to pay attention to the video drop tomorrow. You've made a list. That's all I'm going to say. But my 4 p.m. video drop will come out tomorrow, and you can find out what list you made. I ain't going to say it's a good list, but you made a list. Okay? Anyway, so I guess we're going to talk about this past weekend. What did we do last weekend, Dan?
Talked a little bit on the radio.
Oh, okay. I thought we were just trying to not go to sleep. I thought that we was just doing whatever we could to not go to sleep.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, that's what it boiled down to. But it was rough. It was. I think I managed to, across the whole weekend, I think I got 5 or 6 hours, and they were probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours at a time.
Right.
So
now, I'm not going to talk my numbers, and I don't want Dan to talk his numbers because some people don't want their numbers to be out just yet, and some people don't care. I don't, but
it's not that I don't mind my numbers being out. I just want to see who's going to upload their logs first.
Right.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
Because as
There's
hunters,
a lot of people.
because as hunters, we 100% rely on the activator to do their part. We have no say in the matter whatsoever. So
So the funny thing is that noise that you guys were hearing on me, I'm now hearing when Dan talks. I know the exact noise you're talking about. It sounds kind of like a
Reverse psychology.
noise, right?
do you hear Hayden?
No, I didn't hear.
Must be something about West Virginia then.
So it's probably a cable to do with my microphone because my microphone is also connected to my headphones, and
That could explain it, because when you were moving your head a certain way, it would either pop or not pop.
maybe it's my headphones.
It's possible.
Maybe my headphones is causing the noise.
You need to get yourself some Beats.
Hey.
Anyway, but we won't talk numbers, but we will talk. We'll talk sweet numbers. How many did you say you got?
One or two. But yeah,
one or two the whole weekend.
Yeah. No, David made a comment. KO4GAR said it was impossible to keep up with me. I mean, likewise, David, I was chasing you around too. You killed it as well. Or clear the spotting page. That was a big one for me. There were only like 2 times that I cleared the spot page, and that was like at 3:30 in the morning.
How did the spotting page hold up?
Slow at times. I have ways to get spots other than the spotting page, so I wasn't 100% reliant on that. So I had some workarounds, to get my spots, but it was hard to work them all for sure. There were plenty. There was a lot of CW activations out, and really glad to see that, because those are ones you can work really quick and get in and out. So.
Mm-hmm.
So you think you can work the CW ones quicker than the sideband?
If they're running 30 words per minute, yeah. I mean, a real short. I mean, most of them were running 20, 22 plus, and it was really, really brief. 599 their state, 599 my state. See ya. I mean, it was on par with a sideband exchange.
That's interesting, because I know as an activator, CW is slower.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care if you're running 40 words a minute; it's slower.
Mm-hmm. But CW was really good in the afternoons when the bands went to crap. I don't think they were as bad as they have been the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
they were pretty good.
I don't think they were extremely bad, but they definitely were not to par.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of people thought that I was going for the Rove because I was moving a lot. I was not going for the Rove. Uh-oh. I'll read it when it hits my big screen here and see.
Kilo 8. Golf.
Kilo 8. Golf back. Thank you very much, Terry. Terry's still paying off the underwear that he stole in Dayton. I don't know how much he made off those things, but it must be pretty good, man.
Enough to buy some Reese's cups.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. I got another picture that needs to go on Terry's channel later. I took that last night and forgot to post it. I forgot about that. Anyway, but the bands weren't, what they should have been, because I was not going for the Rove. I was going for most QSOs, most sideband QSOs.
But you had to move to get it. Yeah.
And I would run out way too quick in the parks.
Yeah.
And I had to move. That's why I think I didn't do very good. I don't think I won most sideband QSOs at all. Because I had to move too much. Because, going for most QSOs, I shouldn't have the whole weekend been to more than maybe 10, 12 parks.
Yeah.
And I did 31, 33 parks. So I don't feel like I did good. On top of the 45-minute to an hour layover with the thunderstorms. And thank you very much, Mike, for the $25 super chat. Appreciate you, Mike.
But yeah, it was the bands held up pretty nicely until really mid when the sun was like directly overhead. It was getting really rough here.
I mean, I didn't have any problem. It was just most activations was about I'd get 35 to 50 really quick, and then it just slow down like way too slow.
Yeah.
What did surprise me was 20 meters. And, some of you guys ain't going to understand this when I say this because you don't deal with the problems I deal with here in West Virginia. But 20 meters in West Virginia, if it works at all, and it does work, if you're on top of the mountains, but if it works at all, it's during the day. Once it gets dark, that stuff is gone. I mean, you ain't doing it. And I know Friday night I used 20 meters up until about 2:30 in the morning. I was still banging out contacts on 20 meters.
Yeah.
Like, it was just absolutely insane how good 20 meters was working Friday night. So it worked Saturday, but not like it did Friday night.
Yep, absolutely. Hey, Kevin's in the chat, man. Good to see you, buddy. Quick shout out there. Whiskey 1 Delta Echo Delta. He was tearing it up this weekend too.
Yeah, I worked him early Saturday, and
he just released a video about Carrie and Ray. Go check it out.
I seen that pop out today. I was out doing some potas and stuff, but I did see that pop out. I'm looking forward to seeing that one. That'll be a good video. They're always a good time for. Thank you very much, James, for the super chat.
Oh, that's who someone was.
Oh, okay. That's my someone. All right. Well, thank you for the pizzas and for the super chat.
Now he's the double someone.
But yeah, I always enjoy activating with Carrie and Ray, especially Carrie. That's my big sis. We have a brother sister relationship because we like to spat a little bit. But always a good time. So I look forward to that interview. Good people for sure. And actually thanks to Kevin for the Park to Park from Acadia this weekend. I do remember that one because anytime Acadia pops up, I remember it because I want to go activate that park really bad. That's on my to-do list.
That was one park that I hadn't had, and I saw him at park number 1, Arcadia, and I was like, I got to get him because he was nice and clear. Early Saturday morning was great. Yeah, as far as band conditions, every time I've gone out and Eric's been in a park in Hawaii, I could never hear him. But something was going on early Saturday morning at 1 o'clock, and he came in not very loud but clear, and I've never been able to hear him before.
That aloha propagation.
Yeah, it was amazing.
He had some pretty big pileups late at night.
He did.
I know one night I popped in and I was going to try to work him, and I could hear him, but as weak as I would have been to him, because it was, I think it was on 20, may have been on 15, I'm not sure, but that time of night, and it wasn't Saturday night or Friday night when 20 was killed. I think it was Saturday night. I probably wouldn't have broke his pile up. I did call a couple of times park to park, and I just moved on. But
that's one thing that surprised me because I'm normally not sitting in front of my radio at 3:30 in the morning, right? So the DX that I got on 20 and 40 at 3 and 4 in the morning was phenomenal. I was talking across the pond to Europe on 40 like they were sitting beside me. It was crazy.
That's good. You ain't getting his license soon. So
yeah, man, good deal.
Does that mean all their contacts will finally count?
He'll have his technician pretty soon, guys, and
he'll finally upload his logs.
What are we gonna do with that guy, man?
Give him
not much you can do.
So, but yeah.
It was a fun week.
I was tickled with 20 meters. So the band conditions were bad. I'll tell you another thing that was extremely hard was finding a spot, man.
Yeah.
I mean, which you got to expect, but I don't really like the format where they take those extra bands away from us because it really came into play. There was many a times that I had to just search. I mean, as a hunter, you get a search and pounce the guys that's already got frequencies,
Right.
but when you're an activator, you got to find a clear frequency.
We can even search and pounce those activators that are on the same frequency.
Oh, I know.
Did you hear about that? So
Yeah, I heard. This is a good story. Go ahead and tell
it was was it Friday night or Saturday? I can't remember. But anyway, David's club down in the DR, Hotel India 8, Sierra Delta Romeo. And I can't remember his call sign, but they were in New Mexico. They were on the same frequency on 20 meters. I was trying the guy in New Mexico. I had the spot pulled up and everything, and I called my call sign Whiskey Delta 4 Delta Alpha November. Both of them at the same time came back. I heard both of them. One gave me a 5.8, one gave me a 5.7. So I keyed up the microphone and said, "You're 5.9 Golf Alpha, thanks 7.3," and both of them at the same time said, "Thanks 7.3." I said, "Yeah, there you go." Get two. I get two Q codes. That is how you hunt Pota. That's right.
Two stations, one at one time.
We should have a 2 for reward for hunters. You see.
Yeah. That would have been really cool because most of the time when there's two stations on, that's not going to happen.
And I guess they couldn't hear each other because it wasn't bothering them one bit.
Most of the time, I've been on the same station as people, and I don't, if I'm on the same station as people, I don't hear them. But then I've got people messaging me, "Hey, there's another person talking on your frequency."
I guess I just happened to be right good, propagation wise in the middle of those two, or their signals hit me at the same strength, But they couldn't hear each other. It was awesome. It was a good weekend. So.
That's awesome. But I tell you, what I really liked about the weekend, it brought out a lot of people that don't activate a lot, but that rookie category, I think, brought out a lot of people.
A lot of new parks too. It was almost like a support your parks weekend
because it was bigger than a support your park weekend.
Oh yeah, I would say.
I ain't seen the numbers yet or nothing, but I guarantee the numbers are bigger than the support your park weekend because, I was getting park to parks from people that I have absolutely never heard of before. It was insane. That I look forward to seeing their total amounts. I wonder if they're doing the award show this year.
I don't know. Robert, the Discord link is in the description of this video. I
just posted it too.
Yeah, if you want to stay active in Pota, the HRAG Discord is probably where you should be because all the top activators hang out there, and all of them spot there, whether they're doing a secret activation or not. That if they're doing roves and they don't want the pile up, they'll just come to Discord and post because.
And it's a really good community too. Even though it was a quote unquote contest over the weekend and we're all competing against each other, we still help each other out in the Discord. We're like David. Hey, that station in Spain is coming in loud. Did you get him? He goes, "No, I didn't." So he went over there and got him. So.
Absolutely.
We help each other out.
It's a lot of help, and the same like with the Patreons, we have video chats that we're in quite a bit, and we carry on quite a bit in some of those chats. But when somebody wants to learn something, we just ask a question in those Patreon chats, and I'll tell you what, I can't tell you the number of things that I've learned from my own Patreons. Like just last night, I was having an issue with my ADI files because it wasn't working right for the club, and I'm in the Patreon chill pad, and I learned how to do what I needed to do right there. You know what I'm saying? So it's very helpful. Oh, I do want to give a shout out. Jason posted something the other day about thanking Pota volunteers, and I've got a very special shout out, and I don't even know who I'm thanking, but whichever dev member fixed my Pota award page that has been broken for so long.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Bravo.
Like it's changed my Pota game again because now I can look at my stats and see where I need to work and stuff like that.
For those
So,
of you that aren't in the Discord, we're not really clapping because his awards page are fixed. We're clapping because we don't have to listen to him complain about it.
Listen, I'm a stats
Do
guy.
that.
You know, Pota is meant to be fun, and people have fun different ways. And my fun is stats. I am a stat guy. I like to keep up with every stat possible.
Oh, you asked if they're going to have the awards thing. Kevin said yes, there'll be a YouTube announcement show.
Good, awesome. I know I had fun with it last year. I was one of the announcers last year, and that was a lot of fun. So,
Did you say they're doing the same format, Dan,
Same format?
that they did for the announcements last year?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. If you get to be an announcer for this year, James, you should do like The Price is Right. Come on down.
actually, I give out an award that last year I gave out the award that I would probably like to give out this year because I honestly feel like I would be giving you an award, Dan. You really got. I don't know about the other hunters.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Because I was activating it and I couldn't keep up with everybody. But I'll tell you, you absolutely smashed it. I do know what your numbers are. And I also know I was the top activator you hunted too. But you absolutely just smashed everything. Like, and the way I watched a video with you and Kyle the other night, and you were talking about how you were doing things, and it was just absolutely amazing. If you haven't watched Dan's interview on Kyle's channel, you should go over there and watch that just to hear how he did the Support Your Parks weekend, because it's really, really impressive. You know,
We gave away a lot of good secrets over there.
I appreciate all the hunters. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate them, but I don't get impressed with the way hunters do things because I'm more of an activator. But yeah, I was quite impressed. You know, I still don't think you had to work as hard as the activators, but I was impressed.
I didn't have to drive as much, that's for sure.
Oh, and that was why
I saved on gas.
And that was why, I said, because I really wanted to go for Rove. I think I would have smashed Rove this year because I was ready for it. And, the Canadian guy that's got all the parks, where he can just skip to each one of them was doing a club thing. Yeah. So I it would have been a U.S. thing. So I could have did the Rove. And I just got to looking, and with my vehicle, it would have probably cost me $500 or $600 in gas to done what I was going to do. I think I would have crushed it. I actually think I would have crushed it, even going against Canada, the way I had it set up. But I didn't want to waste that kind of gas money for sure. And honestly, it becomes not fun when you got to do that many parks and have that much stress on you.
Yeah.
So, but
hi, Mom.
Mom's in the chat. But anyway,
his ears must have been burning. It's like Beetlejuice.
I know it. So I was sitting. So I said I'll just go for QSOs because I can do 10 or less parks. But the ban conditions forced me into doing way more parks because I just ran as many hunters as was out there. They couldn't all hear every station. You know what I'm saying? So the numbers were out there, but the propagation gods wasn't.
Yeah. They were definitely better than they have been the last couple of weeks. But my nap time, my little 45-minute to hour nap was in the middle of the afternoon when the bands were just horrible.
Well, that's where I messed up. That's where I messed up too, because if I would have been doing a Rove, I would have had drivers.
Yeah.
But where I was just going for QSOs, it wouldn't make sense to have drivers, and then I end up doing like 30 some parks, and me just going for QSOs, I ended up Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky,
Yeah.
because I still the wait when the band started going bad, I said I need to go where there's good numbers and around. That way I can work them all and then get to another and fast, get to another and fast. So I don't know. I know. Whiskey Zero Charlie Golf Charlie was happy with the Kentucky part because even though those are my go-to Rove if I'm doing big numbers down that way. He said I gave him some new ones that weekend. So hey, thank you very much for becoming a member. I appreciate that very much. That's awesome. I always like the YouTube members.
Yeah, Kevin's a good guy too. Awesome.
And
It was a long.
that reminds me, off stream, I need to talk to you about the YouTube member thing, Dan. There's something happened in Discord, and I don't know what happened. We're missing it. We're missing a chat that just totally disappeared. I'm just curious what we've done.
We shall find it.
But anyway, yeah, it was a good. Oh, and here comes the super chat.
I thought he was activating.
He probably is activating, and he's super chatting because he told me that he was going to be done in time to watch the stream.
Right now he feels guilty.
So, Mr. Alpha, we appreciate the $20 super chat, but you better be watching my stream right now and not just donating while you're calling CQ.
That would be funny. All right, he stops his pile. Everybody stand by. I got to donate.
Stand by. I got to donate some money so I don't get in trouble.
All right, QRZ.
All my friends ain't going to play with me tomorrow if I don't let them think I'm there.
Oh, my goodness. That is excellent.
And Steven actually has been working on something for me because now that I have my stats page fixed, I seen how far I'm behind on coins. A lot of people have pushed the challenge there, and I owe several coins out. So we are. If you are currently thinking that we have forgotten you on your 1,000 contacts with me, I have not forgot you. I've just not been able to see who's got it. Yeah, I know, Dan, your name is on that list.
I'll see you in Huntsville.
But yeah. But Steven is working on those coins, and he's actually working on a bonus for those people who had to wait. So it's really cool. He sent me a picture today, and I was like, "Hey, I want one of those for my coin." So you guys will be getting a bonus now. Now all the people that got them beforehand, like, "Wait, what?" I got to looking at those numbers last night, and I'll tell you what. There's some people that
Drinking the Kool-Aid.
seriously drink some Kool-Aid. Let me tell you, because we'll just say 3,000 is going to be hit real soon.
Yeah,
it's coming. 3,000's coming soon.
Do we have any guesses on who that is?
And I would give you 3 guesses, and you're going to get it right on all 3 of them.
Good. Glad to know she's still kicking butt.
that's right.
So, they're coming. 3,000's coming soon, and that's just amazing because I am not even 3 years deep into Pota, and I have probably, I'm going to say by the end of July, I will have 400 or 5 hunters that have 3,000 contacts with me. that's just amazing. And that is, I'm just overwhelmed with hunters. They overwhelm me. You know, they're all the time thanking me for everything I do, but you don't understand. You guys are why I do what I do, because I can go out. I don't care when I go out. If I go out at 3 o'clock in the morning and you guys are asleep, I don't know if you guys have your ham alerts running through your stereo at the house and it just wakes you up or what, but you're there, man. I don't we'll knock on the wood here, but I don't know what a failed activation is because you guys ain't gonna let that happen. And it's just absolutely amazing. So hats off to all the loyal hunters, all the hunters, period, but all my loyal hunters, you guys are awesome.
You're doing the King's Challenge this year for
I
people
am doing
who
the King's Challenge.
all right,
And
for people
you know
that
what?
hunt you at least once every day.
At least once every day.
But put it in your notebook. A challenge for next year would be hunt me 1,000 times that year.
So and the video does drop tomorrow. My monthly video for May, and this stat is on there, and I don't care to share this stat because everybody knows this stat already probably. But these names right here, these 5 guys have hunted me every day, at least once a day this year, and
that's my call sign in CW in the middle there.
and that's something,
PK?
that is something, to hunt a single activator every day during the year. And I mean, it's just really amazing because they're on my schedule. That's when it becomes hard for the hunter. Most of the time the activator has the harder job, but in this case, it's harder for them because they have to know. Wait, when's he going to be out? And I know most of them have a good thing. Like Dan. Dan will try his best to get me on the late shift the night before. That way, no matter what the propagation is, he's got me for today. But on days like today, when I'm doing my stream, I don't do a late shift. And, Dan has no idea what my plans are tomorrow. So he's got to sit and just wait and watch and watch and watch. When's he going to be on? There he is. Go, go, go. And they will. They'll hunt me from work. They'll hunt me. Terry runs up, 3 flights of steps. I don't know how many times a day just to hunt.
It's good cardio. See, not only is it, it's healthy for you.
So, but yeah, it's definitely something. I love my hunters, and they're just awesome people. And what's really cool is I also love how much West Virginia is growing in Pota. Like, I remember when I first started, and there was people that did Pota, but there was very little activations. Reed was the king of West Virginia back then.
Yeah.
I mean, he ruled West Virginia back then. And there was a couple of hunters, Reed and Lee. That was the 2 big activators. And then I started, and I'll tell you, since then, especially here lately, I've been noticing a big jump in West Virginia hunters, and now there's even a couple more activators. There's a new guy out. I'm sorry, I don't remember your call sign off the top of my head, but you've worked me the last 2 days, park to park, here in West Virginia. His name is Jeff, and it was quite funny because last night I almost went to Camp Creek to do my late shift, but instead I went to Pinnacle, which is probably 8 to 12 crow miles away. It's a lot further driving, but crow miles is probably 8 to 12 miles. And he parked me from Camp Creek to Pinnacle, and I was like, I was almost in that park with him activating. So I told him today, I said, I'm glad you're activating. I look forward to running into you one day because it's going to happen because he's activating in the core zone where one of my rotations are. So it's going to be a good time. So, did you run into anything that you didn't like about Support Your Park or the Plaque weekend then?
No, there were a couple people that I guess decided to intentionally cause trouble. I mean, not Pota hunters, but other sad hams on the band. But it was more of a problem for the activators than it was the hunters. But I heard a couple here and there. But sad that happens. But
I mean, they've been around for a while, but normally on the big weekends like that, when the bands are absolutely full, they get really itchy and they'll do that. I know the one night when I was trying to hunt Eric, it was weird because somebody was playing like wolves howling.
Yeah,
the background was activation.
Yeah.
That's the night I got him too.
I was like, I was like, oh, this is a cool guy jamming. I don't never get the wolf guy. But I don't know.
It's annoying.
Some people, when you've lived in your mom's basement for like 80 years, you get kind of short tempered. So you think you own the radio, and you got to just jam people and stuff like that, and think it's cool because you think that you should be able to go on and talk to your next door neighbor that lives across the street about the macaroni salad at the picnic the other weekend for like 7 hours.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, a little bit of intentional QRM. What else was I going to say? That the spots, clubs, that went kind of wonky. Because on Pota, you can only have one call sign spotted on one band and mode. You're going to have to differentiate your club band and modes by using a / some kind of identifier, RO1, RO2, SSB, CW, what have you. I probably duped a lot of people because they would change their / identifier for some reason. They would change it from like /1 to /SSB, and to me, that's a new spot because it shows up in my list. And I'm going to call you back.
Kyle likes macaroni salad, and I've got a couple frequencies. You can go talk about that for hours, Kyle.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: Pota's system has problems with the slashes anyway. Yeah. I was told by one of them to not even log slashes, so I don't.
That's right. You should log what you hear on the air. So if they say /R1, log it. But if they don't, don't.
I was told not to do that because it'll mess it up.
Yeah,
it'll mess the contact up. That's what I was told.
See, my problem with it is on Pota, if you're spotted as a /R01 or R1 for a rover, which makes sense in the Pota world, sure. But the way I log, it's all encompassed with my spotting. So I hit one button, it respots you, and it logs you in my logger under the call sign you spotted as. So right now, QRZ thinks I worked Russia like mad over the weekend because of the /R1. So
okay, I get that. Yeah. Now I did want to give a shout out because we were talking about intentional jammers and stuff like that, and I know a lot of Pota activators has had problems with nets coming on, and some of the nets are really good. They'll be courteous and tell you, and they'll ask you if you care to move and stuff like that. And some of them will just come on demanding, and of course I won't leave if you demand. We all know that, but I wanted to give a shout out to a net. I don't remember the name of the net, and I feel bad because I don't. But I do know it's on 7268 weekdays between 3 and 5. Whatever net that was, the guy come on there, he threw his call out and got my log. And he said, hey, buddy, I just letting you know, we normally run a net here. We're going to move up or down 3 KCs. That way you can keep on going. But if any of our guys come over, will you let them know that we're up or down 3? And I said, no. I said, I will give you your frequency because you're being polite and doing things the right way.
Right.
I was like, he's like, no, I'm not trying to run you off. I said, listen, I'm good. I was like, you guys can have this frequency, but I don't remember the name of the net, and I'm sorry for that, but I do know it's like Monday through Friday on 7268 between 3 and 5, and those guys are really polite, and I appreciate them for doing things the right way, because that's how you do it.
Yeah.
If you want to have a net and you ask the person, then the person should move. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'm not
Do
going
it
to say
the
the
right
person
way.
will move, because it is just an agreement. It's not a rule. There's no rule that says if you have a net you can pick your frequency. But
Right.
I know most of the activators I know will definitely move if you ask nicely. But when you go demanding, that's a little different story.
It's always easier to ask nice and get what you're
Thank you,
after in the
Chris.
long run.
That's exactly who it was. The
Yeah.
68 group.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's always a lot easier to ask nice if you're a net control guy, and the activator will 95% of the time move, because it's a lot easier for us to respot and get our pile up right back than it is for you to move your whole net.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's and it was funny because I wasn't even moving, because I was really about done anyway. So I was sitting there finishing up my log, and I had it still on that frequency, and I even heard the guy say, we meet here daily, blah 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 blah. He's like, but on maybe it was 7 days a week. Maybe it's 7 days a week, because he did say, except for on big contest weekends, we just go ahead and leave this free, because we don't want to interrupt with anybody and stuff. And I mean, I just felt like it was just like a really polite group of people. And it's the 68 group. Chris is right. I do remember that now that he's posted it. So, shout out to them for doing amateur radio right, because that's the way it should be done. There's enough free frequencies most of the time. I hate weekends most of the time anyway.
Well, I mean, let's look it up here. Let's if y'all want to check them out, 68group.net on the web. Looks like a good little group of folks here.
Now, 7215 is not a RAG 2 frequency, and I've activated there many a time, so they can forget that. It's funny that he just throws out a random frequency and says that, but 7215 is a frequency that I find free a lot of times in the later evenings. When all the, because I'll tell you, it's rough, because this is what I hate about late shift. Trying to find a band around that time for the early and late shift is horrible, because there is a net for absolutely everything going on at that time.
And AM broadcasters come in.
Yeah, don't get me started on AM broadcasters. We own from 729 to 7300, but yet they run
No.
on 726 something with the most powerful stations you ever do here.
Not the AM hams, the AM overseas broadcasters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, the AM hams, I never hear anybody running AM except if you're near their calling frequency. All of a sudden, they will run all the way across the house and tell you the frequencies in use.
They do, man. It's kind of like it's like the guy on 60 meters that'll come and tell you, I monitor 60 meters. He wasn't using it, but he monitors it. Right. Well, congratulations. You can monitor my activation. Because despite what you said multiple times to me, even though he's had my license revoked 3 times now. 3 times he's had my license revoked.
Sure has. Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, how many licenses do you? Yeah, I mean, if it's been 3 times, how many licenses do you have for 60? Like 10?
When I got my extra license, I went ahead and applied for the cat license. So I
got
have
extras.
9. I got 9. I got 6 more lives to do on 60 meters.
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, he not only does he say he's calling the FCC to have my license removed, but he's calling POTA because I'm breaking the POTA rules. Because POTA says you can do POTA on any frequency except 60 meters.
That's right. That's right. Except what he monitors. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
You scared me. I had the volume up monitoring, and nobody talked for 2 days, and all of a sudden you get on here.
It's funny. I'm like, what do you want? You want them to take the frequency? Is that what you want? You don't want people to use it? But I'll tell you what. I've been running a special event since Monday. So for 3 days now, I've been running special event station. It's my club called Whiskey 8 Main Monster Golf for the Lewis and Clark Trail. Our club's the West Virginia station, and I've been doing it from Pota Parks. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not spotting on Pota. I have a time or two, but most of the time I'm just letting the DX cluster pick me up for Lewis and Clark, and just getting some new calls. And I'll tell you what, jammers leave you alone. If you're calling CQ Lewis and Clark, they won't bother you at all. You call CQ Pota and they lose their mind.
You can call CQ anything but Pota and not get anybody to bother you. I don't know what it is just about Pota. You can CQ bathrooms on the air. Nobody in the world is going to bother you. But you say CQ Pota? Oh, hold on.
but it's different to me too, because we all know when I call CQ Pota, I've got like this huge pile up, and I'm blasting through calls. I'm calling CQ Lewis and Clark, and everything's slow, and like I can't tell you how many rag chew conversations I've had with people, just random about this, that, and the other. I had a really cool conversation. Does anybody in the chat use a Jackery generator?
I've heard of it. No, I don't.
Because this guy told me that his Jackery is absolutely silent with no noise, and he was like 30 miles off grid or whatever. I'm curious how good the Jackeries are. If anybody in the chat, they didn't say CQ Pota, they said CQ, CQ, CQ. And Beetlejuice is here. Well, good to see you, Curtis. But yeah, this guy told me that he uses a Jackery, and he said it'll run my 7300 for about a day and a half, and on a tank, and I had a real cool conversation with him. But on Pota, that's not going to happen with me. So I have had lots of conversations. People who will come by, and just now when I spot on Pota, it's the same pile up as always. But people like Pota hunters have come by and just randomly found me or hunted me or whatever, and I bet they're like, "Is he rag chewing with somebody right now? That's not James. That's his voice."
What is he talking about? His antenna and how many radials he's running?
Somebody has stole James's voice. And it's somebody is Dan, because it's on his recording.
That's right.
This is exactly what I was thinking. If the Jackery's like a battery box, if you're using a 12-volt side, it'd be quiet. But if you plug anything into the
inverter, it's noisy.
The inverter, it's going to make noise.
Okay.
So it's like that's basically all it is. They sell it as a solar generator, but all it is a battery box that you just charge up with a solar panel or an outlet or whatever.
Okay.
They're neat.
I was just curious about it, because a day and a half sounds pretty good. Of course, maybe him running a day and a half and me running a day and a half is probably a different power consumption.
It's just like with anything. If you have a 100 amp hour battery,
you can run a day and a half on
hour Jackery, then yeah, you can run a day and a half with that. I can run 2 days with mine, but 2 activations with mine.
You can probably run a day and a half with mine, James.
Challenge accepted.
What's yours? 30 amp hour? Or
no, he's got 60.
60? Okay, yeah, definitely.
I think that'll be a cool video. Can James kill Dan's battery in a day and a half?
We did no, not day and a half, but we killed it at Olena.
Yeah, but you were charging laptops and everything.
Yeah, and I hadn't charged it before that in maybe 3 weeks. So.
Oh, funny stuff. But anyway, I had a good time doing Support Your Parks weekend and, the plaque event. User Jackery boxes.
Wow. Eric ran 82 amp hour on Saturday alone.
Wow.
Digital though, right? I'm assuming.
Oh, okay.
If you did 82 amp hours on Saturday on just sideband, I'm gonna bow.
I know he was working sideband Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Well, he was going for the rookie category, most contacts. So he was using sideband, FT8. He was using everything. So that FT8 will drain it a lot quicker.
Yeah,
That's for
it
sure.
will.
At 82 amp hour, that's intense, dude.
That's a lot.
That's super intense.
Oh, 100 total. 82 on the 7300 and 20 on the G90. So he run 102 total. Wow.
I don't know what I run because I keep mine charging in the car in between parks and stuff like that too. So I can't never. My batteries are always charging. You know, people's like, oh, you need to run your battery dead. I ain't got time for all that. My stuff
Back in the day, that was the truth, but not nowadays.
You know, I don't know if tomorrow morning. I don't know if I'm going to go out and do a park or two, or if I'm going to wake up and say, hey, let's go on a 30 park rove. I never know. I gotta be prepared for whatever my crazy brain says to me. So it's just crazy like that. But anyway, I would like to thank all the hunters who hunted me over to support your Parks Plaque weekend.
Thank you for being out there and letting us hunt you.
I really appreciate all the hunters because the bands were not the way they were, and going for contacts that made it rough. So those who did get me, thank you very much. Those who got me repeatedly, which a lot of you did, thank you very much as well. And I'd like to thank Pota for putting on the event. I think they're moving in the new batteries. Kyle, I purchase a lot of AA batteries all the time. And
the D cells, top line.
I have 100 amp hour that I have linked together out of AA batteries. So I'll have to get back with you on that number. Oh Lord.
That reminds me of the stream we did. We were talking about batteries.
I can tell you not as many as you would think because the batteries last. My main go-to battery that I still use is my original BioLino battery from the beginning, and that's the one that gets used every day. My others are just for big weekends. But my one that I use every single day, the one that gets charged every night, the one that is in this box right here that everybody sees me use all the time, it gets charged every single day, and it's I don't know how many cycles I've put this thing through, but I can tell you that it's a good product because it ain't died on me yet. My other ones are basically brand new because they only get used for big roves and big weekends like this past weekend. So I am getting ready to purchase either 230s or like 150 or a 60 and stick in the box that Dan sent to me. So I can have like a.
I was thinking about it too. If you get the 50 or even the 60 in the lower profile, you might be able to have room to put a tray on top of it to store stuff. So,
your knickknacks
and patty wax.
But I do. I feel like Pota went in a good direction with this contest. I feel like a few of the rules still need to be tweaked. What I do worry about is how they're going to filter out because there wasn't no furs allowed in this event.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I was activating, and I can't tell you the park to parks that would park to park me. And I know I got park to parks from 4-fers, 3-fers, and a lot of 2-fers.
Yeah.
So now, mind you, if they're not trying to compete in an event, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You can do Pota normal. You ain't got to compete in an event. But I'm wondering if Pota's prepared to filter that stuff out because it's not going to be fair if they announce a winner and it's somebody that was running a 4-fer and it just slipped through the cracks. So,
because it'll still count. Like, let's say I went out to a 4-fer and didn't even care about the Plaque weekend. I should still be able to upload my forfeit from the weekend.
No, absolutely. You'll still get normal Pota credit, but
Yeah,
towards
you'll still get normal Pota credit.
Yes, so they've got to
But-
have a separate way to
But
filter all
I'm
that
sure
stuff
I'm
out.
curious how it's going to filter out. I really am.
It'll be interesting.
That's because I definitely would have went about things a lot differently if there was fours and
I'm sure they have
thirds
the
involved.
best and brightest on top of the whole thing.
Hey, they fixed my word page. I ain't got no slack with them. Despite what I said for the last month and a half while it was broken.
y'all remember all that stuff I said? Never mind. They're great.
Hey, I said it to people that was working on it, so it's not that I said it behind their backs. You take my stats from me, and I get angry.
Angry.
I do Pota for one reason, and that's to compete with myself and to have stats to play with. That's why I do Pota. That's what I'm for. And that's just me. Anyway, we're coming up on the top of the hour, and we all know that we are going over to the Patreon after dark, the happy hour after dark. And if you would like to be part of that and see what Patreon's about, you can actually head over to Patreon and go to the top activator tier, and you'll see on there start free trial. When you go to the page, it shows you start free trial, and you got a 7-day free trial of Patreon. So it'll give you access to the video tonight. It'll give you access to Chill Pad all week. Although Chill Pad is dangerous at times, there's some carrying on going on in there. But it'll give you access to getting your spot automatically posted in my Discord. That's like a huge benefit. I love that thing because all the big hunters, even if they don't spot on POTUS, will spot in my page. But if you are a Patreon, I believe it's activator or above, you're automatically posted. If you spot on POTUS, it automatically posts you over there because a lot of people they look for spots on my page before they look on POTUS anymore. It's crazy. But if you'd like a free trial, you can head over there and do that, and you can join us tonight. Other than that, Hayden, what you got coming up, buddy?
I am going out on a boat this weekend, and hopefully we will be doing another maritime mobile activation of the Captain John Smith Trail.
There we go. Maritime mobile activation.
And hopefully I can get some video of it this time because I totally forgot about it the last time.
I've been trying a lot harder to get a lot more video lately. I've been concentrating on really, really hard on stuff like that. Even if I'm not putting out a video, like today, I put out a daggone TikTok during an activation, or it may have been during lunch. I don't know, but it was radio involved.
I borrowed one of them fancy little cameras. I forget what it's called, but from my son. It's one of those little tiny cameras that you put in a case, and I've got a mount that I can mount it to the rail of the boat and get lots of cool coverage. I forgot to bring it. Oh, and Saturday they'll be fishing. So rockfish, watch out.
Nice.
One of these, Hayden?
That's is a hero a thing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Hero 3, maybe. I don't remember, something like that. I've got it around here.
Yeah, this is a Hero 10. So, yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that's good.
So, but good deal. I look forward to seeing it. Dan, what you got coming up?
Not much. I'm gonna hunt Hayden Maritime Mobile and then monitor 14300 to see if he needs anything.
Oh, I love it. I love
That's
it.
a good one to monitor.
For myself,
You had to go there.
I'm going over to the After Dark chat right here in a minute. Tomorrow, I will be out activating. I will be splitting my time between activating for myself and activating for Whiskey 8 Lean Oscar Golf for the Lewis and Clark Trail special event for West Virginia. We are the West Virginia station, and I have to put in 60 hours over the next couple of weeks for them. So I did 5 activations for myself today and 3 for Whiskey 8 Oscar Golf. So
I
lots of
will not
activations.
activate 14,300, Eric.
Lots of activating for me. But I do have the video drop for tomorrow at 4 o'clock, like always. And I'll be out there this weekend. I'm thinking about going on a Pota Waterfalls adventure. So we'll just have to see what it brings. Other than that, thank you guys for the donations and for giving me your time tonight. And hopefully we'll catch you on the air or in the after chat. 73, everybody.
73.
73. Hit that thumbs up.